everybody, it's me, Tara Eileen, and welcome back to our Nancy Drew Let's Play of Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. Last episode was crazy. We were able to complete a lot of tasks, and then after we found the speaker on the side of our house, we got knocked out and put in a burning building, and we had to get out of there as fast as possible and put the fire out. But yeah, so today we are going to be starting with going down to the safe and seeing if 1933 is the safe code, and then also we need to talk to Red Knot. So let's load on into here. It sounds like it's still daytime. So we're gonna go down here. Like, I think to get into the safe, I use my pen to go in the little hole. Like, I thought I needed like a special key or something, but I actually don't think I do. Like,
it looks like a tiny hole.
Yep, there we go.
What's the combination?
So 1933, I think it is. And what do I press? This? Yeah. Dang. I guess we can try this October 9th, 1927. I wonder if I keep doing this 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that should have gone off. Interesting. So I guess let's head back up to Red Knot. And then we can see a little bit more from Jeff Akers. Kind of go over that stuff a little bit.
I'd better wait until daylight.
What did you have to tell me, sir?
Hello there. I owe you an apology. After you came up here looking for those red tails, I gave my map a closer look and realized it was more than 50 years old. Reason you can't find them is probably because their favorite nesting tree is gone. Finding that hawk's gonna be harder than I thought, so why don't you just give me back my camera and I'll take it from here? It didn't get burned up in that fire or anything, did it?
Somebody
No.
clobbers me over the head and then tries to barbecue me, and all you're worried about is your camera?
It's a very expensive camera.
I never noticed those gas cans before.
I ran out of gas. So much for being prepared, huh? Well, that's all I wanted to tell you. I'm sure you've got places to go, things to see, people to pester.
You'll be happy to know that I did get a picture of a red-tailed hawk. So here's your camera back. I got all the birds.
Thank you, Nancy. Nice work. You're a credit to your generation.
See you in a while.
Watch yourself out there.
Yeah, those gas cans weren't there before. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Okay, now we need to go back to the AM. Let's go talk to Jeff Akers. See if there's any information on when Jeff Akers, not Jeff Akers, Mickey Malone was pinched. I'm not sure what that means, if it was arrested or when he died. Ooh, you know what?
Good news. I have information on your mystery woman.
Thank you so much. Is she still alive?
Her name these days is Vivian Whitmore. She lives in Las Vegas, and her number is 702-555-9137.
Vivian Whitmore. I wonder if she would know.
Where's Yogi?
In the run out back. Even out of sight, he's under my full control, as park rules require.
Have you gotten the results back from that water sample I left with you?
I meant to call the Department of Health today for a status report, but frankly, I've been way too busy.
Sounds like Moon Lake could use 2 rangers.
If I were in charge of just 10 more acres of parkland, they'd give me an assistant, and I could devote more time to the acquisition of more land and eventually put Moon Lake on the map as one of the biggest, most popular parks in the state.
Why didn't the Parks Department buy the Malone property instead of Sally?
She outbid them, the cheapskates.
Well, if those dogs scare Sally away for good, other people are bound to think twice about buying the place. The bank will lower its price, and you'll have your land.
You're insinuating things again, Miss Drew.
What? I am?
I'm sorry, I really am. It's just that Sally's my friend, and I'd really like to find out why someone's doing this to her.
Tell you what, if you're serious about making amends, there's some boxes by the computer labeled with dates. They're from the estate of a local history buff. She kept everything from newspaper clippings to old photos to recipes for apple crisp. She put everything in envelopes, then numbered them by year using Roman numerals. Just put the envelopes in order by year with the earliest date in front. Oh, and if you're rusty on Roman numerals, there's an entry on them in the computer.
Okay if I read what's in the envelopes?
Don't go reading anything until you're through, or take my word for it, you'll never get finished.
Thanks for all your help.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, thank you. Maybe that has the date. So let's look up Roman numerals real fast. Where would Roman numerals be? Really? Maybe we can figure this out.
Let's see. Jeff said the envelope with the earliest date goes down in the front of each box.
1900 to 1912. Yeah, I'm gonna need info on this. Where is it? Okay, I guess I'll go looking everywhere. Aha! Okay. The system is a simple one. Really, is it? So I is 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, C is 100, D is 500, M is 1000. Whoa, stop. So 4s and 9s make it tricky. The number 3 is expressed as 3 I's. The number 8 is expressed as 5 with VIII. The number 68 is LX VIII. 168 is CLX VIII, and so on. Roman numerals made one slightly tricky adjustment when it came to writing 4s and 9s in Roman numerals. Anytime the letter representing a smaller number is placed in front of or to the left of a letter representing the larger number, the smaller number is subtracted from the larger number. For instance, instead of writing 4 as 4, the Roman numerals would write 1v, which is 5 minus 1, which equals 4. Thus, the number 9 is expressed as ix. XIX is 19, XLIX is 109, and CIX is 1109. Okay. Okay, so 1900 to 1912. So to get 1900, it would be, we need a 1000, then we need a 900. So would that be IC? Because it's definitely not going to be CCCCC. Ooh, I got pen on my arm. Well, all these start with MC. And then maybe... They all start with MCM. So maybe that's 1900 there. Well, MCM is 1900. That would be 1910. This would be 1908. This is 1904. And that one is 1911. $1913. $1914. This one's 1917. The L means 50. So this one goes all the way over here. So I need an MCMX. 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 MCMXXXX. MCXB. That one seems right. That should be 15. That one should be 17, right? 10, 15, 16, 17. This one's going to be XIX, which is 19. This one's 20. So 20 is going to be XX. There's 20 MCMXXV, that's 25. All the L's need to go over here. Except for there's one L that's not over there. That one is 51. This one is 60. CMX. The X is 10. 50. So 41. So this might be the only one over here. So let's figure these out. Okay, so MCM 1, 2, that's 30, 32. 1, 2, 3, 39. 25. This one is XC. So this one actually needs to be over here as well, I think. So that would be XC. So X is 10, so that's going to be 90. 1997. So this one, 10L41, and this one is 45. Okay, so then I think I need these. So this one, L is 50. And then X is, so 1960. This one's 51. Oh, did I just get it?
Now that they're all sorted, I can do some reading.
That was hard. Where do I want to read from? Gangster about to become Moon Lake's newest resident in 1925. Okay. Gangster nabbed at Moon Lake. January 29th, 1932. Got it. Is that him? In pajamas being led away. Waldo Matthias. That's the guy in the cemetery. Let's look at everything else first. Word takes. Philadelphia mobster dies. So this could be dies February 13th, 1941. Dragging ban is a drag. And that's it. Okay. Sweet. Thank you. Now we know the date. So pinched either means that he was caught and took to jail or he died, and I have both of those dates. Also, I figured out how to know like how many numbers we need, like if it's just like 4 or if it's 6 or if it's 8. The other numbers here, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 08, 23, 26. So Black Tuesday, 10, 29, 29. Okay, so we're gonna do 01, 29, 1932. So that's the date he got caught. So 0, 1, 2, 9, 1, 9, 3, 2. Did I get? No, I did not. I don't think I did that right. So we'll redo it. 0, 1, 2, 9, then back to 1, then back to 9, then 3, and then 2. Yeah, I definitely did it right that time. So let's try 02131941. One, 3, 1, 9, 4. January 29th, 1932. Here, let's look at this again. Uncle Clayton died. Oh. So it'd be just 32. 012932. So 1, 2, 9, 3, 2. Oh, it paused. Okay. Sweet. And there's little mousies.
I bet those were deer mice.
Should I put these on? William Akers, 1933 to 1942.
Speakeasy.
Today, Mickey went to prison, but when they were walking him to the paddy wagon, he told me to take care of his dogs, and when the time came to do their tombstones like he told me, then he whispered to me to look under the Victor Law in the Speakeasy at Moon Lake. He said I'd find a map to the gold he stole 2 years ago. Then they shoved him into the wagon, and that was that. Poor Mickey. How's a guy who never spent 1 night in jail supposed to spend 8 years in prison? He'll never make it. I think he wants me to have the gold because deep down he knows he's never coming home. Anyway, I looked under the Victoria and found the map. The problem is there's nothing on it except a bunch of lines and the words "the dogs will lead the way." There's no X marking the spot or directions or nothing. But I need the money bad. My wife and baby haven't had anything decent to eat in months. So I'm gonna pack them up and move to Moon Lake permanently so I can spend all my time looking for the gold. Mickey never told me outright that he was the guy who pulled off the hole in the floor gold heist. He always said the less I knew, the healthier I'd stay, but according to the papers, a bunch of gold was stolen off a moving train right under the noses of about a dozen Pinkertons. Mickey must have greased somebody's palm real good and got him to cut a hole in the floor of the boxcar. The gold was going to be shipped in. After the gold was loaded, one of his boys crawled under the train and pulled himself into the boxcar. Then when the train was moving, he dropped the gold down the hole onto the tracks. Mickey's boys picked it up and got away clean. Nobody's ever suspected Mickey was behind it. So what I'm looking for is 20 gold bars. The papers said altogether that they weighed around 600 pounds. The question is, did Mickey hide them in one place or did he spread them around? He must have buried them, but where? I just thought of something. Maybe Mickey trained his dogs to go to the gold if you say the right word. I'm gonna try saying gold to them tomorrow and see what happens. Whew, a lot of reading. I've said every word I can think of to all the dogs, but they haven't led me anywhere except around in circles. I spent the last month following them around. First Xander, then Vitus, then Lucy. I don't have to follow Iggy because all he does is sleep on the porch, so it looks like I'm gonna have to start digging. I'll dig under the porch first, seeing as that's where Iggy always is. A month ago, I started working as a handyman over in Lewiston to make ends meet, so even though I stop by Mickey's every day to feed the dogs, I can only look for the gold at night. I dug all around under the porch but didn't find nothing. I marked the porch.
Joe Akers? Emily said Jeff Akers' father was named Joe. Maybe Jeff is related to William Akers after all.
He lied. I marked an X on the map with a big eye for Iggy because that's the place he always leads me to. I was so busy digging last Tuesday night that I almost forgot. I almost wasn't there when my son was born. We're calling him Joe. His big sister is really happy. She says baby Joe is just like the dolly she always wanted, but we could never afford to get her. Truth is, we can't really afford Joe neither. I keep writing to Mickey asking him to please tell me straight out where the gold is, but he never writes back. I'll just have to keep digging. Leavenworth Prison, Leavenworth, 48, Kansas. Now I spend all my free time digging in the woods. I dig around everything that could be a landmark. Logs, trees, stumps, rocks, but I never find nothing. Plus, I keep getting lost. The paths look so much alike, especially at night. I spend most of my time trying to figure out where I am. So last Sunday, I memorized the way to the cemetery. It's all these left, right, blah, blah, blah. Even though Mickey never allowed the dogs in the speakeasy or the tunnels, I've been looking there for the gold because I looked everywhere else I can think of and got nowhere. Last week I found out that Mickey changed the passcode to the spigots in the speakeasy. It got my hopes up because way I figured it, why would Mickey change the code without telling me unless he was hiding something? But when I finally figured out the new code, I didn't find nothing in the tunnel that opened up that wasn't there before. Why Mickey spent all that money on pictures of those dogs of his, I'll never understand. I give up. Mickey's dead, so are all his dogs. I'll never find the gold. I got a good job offer over in Harrisburg, and I'm gonna take it. Little Joe and Sarah deserve a better life than they've gotten so far, and it's high time Callie got a nice house and a husband who doesn't spend all his time chasing after something he can't find. But I'm leaving this journal here because who knows, maybe someday I'll suddenly remember something Mickey said, and it'll finally hit me where he hid the gold. Maybe I'll come back here and find it after all. But in the meantime, I got a family. They're what's important. They're treasure enough.
The dogs will lead the way. I wonder what that means.
Do I have to go all the way back through the book? Okay. I guess let's go talk to Jeff Akers because he said he didn't know. He said he wasn't related to, was it William Akers? But he is. It's doggy.
Hello there.
Sorry to bother you again, but did those results from the water test come in yet?
Oh, there's something here for you from the State Department of Health.
Thank you. Initial test found high levels of arsenic in the
Oh
sample.
my gosh, not only is the water bad, but it seems like the well may have been contaminated deliberately.
Yeah, arsenic is not...
I wouldn't go jumping to conclusions without proof, Ms. Drew. I'm sure there's a far less melodramatic explanation.
What do you know about a man named Joe Akers?
Why do you ask?
I understand he used to be the deputy here.
So?
According to Emily Griffin, Deputy Joe Akers was your father, and according to the journal I found, William Akers' son was named Joe. Another coincidence?
All right. William Akers was my grandfather.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
It's not exactly something I'm proud of. My father spent his whole life trying to make people forget what my grandfather was, and trying to make sure people who didn't know what he was never found out. I've been doing the same thing.
What did William Akers do after Malone was arrested?
I'm afraid you're going to have to excuse me, Miss Drew. In case you've forgotten, I'm a very busy man.
You're just grumpy.
I apologize for my previous behavior. As a park ranger, I strive to keep my personal feelings in check at all times, and that time I failed. It's my duty as a public servant to try to make it up to you. What would you like to know?
Thank you.
What can you tell me about the gold that Malone supposedly buried on his property?
As far as I know, it doesn't exist. It's just one of those rumors people want to believe, so they do.
Thanks for all your help.
That's why I'm here.
Okay, so last thing we are going to do today is we're going to give this Vivian a call before I forget. Vivian Whitmore. Right here, phone. Oh, and her number comes up. Nice.
If you're selling something, hang up right now. I got an air horn in my hand that could deafen a dinosaur, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh, no, please. I'm not selling anything. Believe me. Is this Vivian Whitmore?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You got exactly 5 seconds to state your business.
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to ask you some questions.
Oh, right. The Moon Lake Park Ranger said you might call. But you have to talk fast. An old friend of mine is flying in today from Florida. And when I say old, I mean old, as in 5 years older than I am.
Wow, okay.
Don't bother trying to do the math, sweet stuff. You'll hurt yourself. So, that ranger fella said you found an old picture of me.
It was of you and Mickey Malone. Do you remember him?
Of course I remember him. I remember everything about that time of my life. It was the roaring 20s, for crying out loud. One of the most exciting decades in American history. Just because I've got a few years on most people doesn't mean my brain's turned to tapioca, sweet stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
Mickey and I dated for 5 years. Oh, I knew what he was, and I didn't approve, believe you me. But I was young, and we got along so well, and he was so considerate. He always kept birch beer on tap at that speakeasy of his just for me.
Do you know anything about the safe that's in the cellar of his house at Moon Lake?
You must be talking about the wall safe. That was Willie's. He was a guy who worked for Mickey.
Did all Malone's employees have their own safes?
Not hardly. Mickey treated most of his employees like dirt, but not Willie. He honestly liked Willie, trusted him. And when Willie decided he wanted his own safe, Mickey said, "What the hey?" No one knew the combination, not even Mickey. Mostly because Willie was constantly changing it. He was a little paranoid and superstitious. Well, as I recall, he'd pick the most unlucky number he could think of and use that for the combination. He called it a reverse jinx.
Unlucky number? Like what?
Oh, like the date that something bad happened, like when the stock market crashed, or when somebody died, or the address of a house that caught fire, or the phone number of the police, that sort of thing.
What can you tell me about Malone's Speakeasy?
It was in the basement, right there at Moon Lake. Feds never knew about it, but everybody who was anybody on the East Coast back then, actors, musicians, bankers, politicians, they knew. You weren't big time unless you'd made at least one trip to Moon Lake Mickey's.
That's weird. I'm staying in his old house on Moon Lake, and I haven't seen any sign of a speakeasy.
Course you haven't. You're not supposed to. Only Mickey and Willie knew how to get into the speakeasy from the house. The rest of us had to go in and out the regular way, through the cemetery.
The cemetery?
There was a lock hidden in one of the tombstones in that little cemetery behind the house. You needed a key to unlock it, and when you did, stairs would appear that led to the speakeasy.
Do you have any idea how to get into Malone's Speakeasy from the house?
I sure don't. That saloon was built using 2 main ingredients, concrete and secrecy. Mickey always bragged that nobody could get in unless he wanted them in, and I do believe he was right. But I'll tell you what,
cool.
if you send me that picture of me and Mickey, I'll send you my key.
The key to the tombstone? You still have it?
It's in the bottom of my jewelry box. I've come this close to throwing it out 100 times, but It's so small, and the memories it brings back are so big. Well, I just couldn't. As a joke, Mickey had a tombstone made with the name of this federal agent who had it out for him inscribed on it. That's the one the key unlocks.
Waldo.
William Akers, the guy you call Willie. He wrote about looking for the gold that Malone had supposedly buried on his property at Moon Lake. Do you know anything about that?
The hole in the floor gold heist. Well, I'll be darned.
So it's true? He did bury gold on his property?
Truth be told, when Mickey told me he was the one who pulled off that heist and that he'd buried 20 gold bars at Moon Lake, I didn't believe him. I thought he was making it up. See, Mickey and I were on the outs by then. I thought he was just trying to entice me to come back. But if he told Willie the same thing, maybe there's something to the story after all.
Do you have any idea where he might have hidden it?
Afraid not. Mickey was so secretive that the men who completed his house at Moon Lake were not only forbidden to talk about the work they'd done, but they were ordered to leave the state for good, or else. But you know, I think he mentioned a map. Yes. He said he was making a treasure map and that... the dogs. Something about those dogs of his.
The dogs will lead the way?
He was always saying that. In fact, I'm pretty sure he had it engraved on his tombstone. Think, Viv, think! He said he was making a treasure map, and that he was also having paintings done of each dog. He made it sound like one thing had something to do with the other, like he was giving me some big important clue. But I just figured he was playing games, trying to lure me back with mystery and intrigue. I told him to buzz off. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Did he say what he was going to do with the paintings?
He said he was going to hang them in the speakeasy, and I'm sure that's precisely what he did.
Can you remember anything about Malone's dogs that might suggest where he hid the gold?
I stayed away from his dogs. They made me nervous, always jumping around, barking at this or that. The only one I liked was, what was his name? Iggy. I liked Iggy because he was nice and quiet. He just lay on the porch all day and didn't make a peep.
It's been fun talking to you.
I'll be suing you.
Okay, everybody, we're way over time for today, so we're going to end it here. Next episode, we are going to send that picture down to Vivian, so she'll send us a key to the speakeasy. This is, like, getting good, really good for this game. This is, like, my favorite part. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Have courage and be kind, and we shall see you all next time. Bye!